Healing cannot be rushed. Hello, friend of karmic affinity. Let your heart settle and feel this moment. Many of us go to bed every night with a silent but heavy goal, hoping that after just one sleep, all fatigue will vanish and the body will be completely healthy again. But then when realizing the reality has not changed, your heart suddenly grows heavy with disappointment, and that very feeling unintentionally creates a new layer of stress for the following nights. I want you to remember a gentle truth that profound healing absolutely never takes place in only a single night. And dear friend, please understand that it is absolutely not a failure of your own. Right at this moment, I invite you to pause for a beat and ask your heart, what if healing was never destined to happen in a rush? Tonight, I invite you to explore with me a secret of patience, where you learn to let go of strict deadlines to truly allow the recovery process to begin in its most natural and complete way. Why we always want to heal so fast. My dear friend, in the midst of the bustling modern world out there, it seems every value is measured by speed and superior productivity. Your daytime is a restless race with messages that need immediate replies and goals that must be completed on time. It is sad when we unintentionally bring that exact rushed mindset all the way to bed and turn our own recovery into a project that needs to be optimized. You lie down and silently command the body that tomorrow morning it must definitely be healthier. You want the wounds of the soul to heal after just one night, as if we could press a magical button to reset the entire nervous system. But dear friend, the biological body of a human is inherently a part of nature, and it never operates based on dry progress, charts, or imposed deadlines. Coercion only makes the cells more stressed and closes the door to self-regeneration. Understand a gentle wisdom that the body truly heals according to rhythm and absolutely never according to the demands of impatience. Healing is a process, not an event. In the ancient wisdom of humanity, the recovery of body and mind is always viewed as the cyclic rotations of nature and never as the result of forced will by the exhausted human ego. Buddhism never promises an immediate lightning-fast healing miracle, but on the contrary, he teaches us a lesson of boundless patience toward our own form and consciousness. You need to understand that the deeper the wounds, the more quiet time they need to silently close, just as a seed needs to spend many days and nights lying still in the dark earth before it can reach up to become a sturdy great tree before the storms out there. Tonight, I invite you to completely cast off the mindset of a stressful race and begin allowing yourself to step into the truest rhythm of life. Let this sacred reminder soothe and warm your soul that what truly heals deeply always takes place slowly. The threshold before sleep, when expectations start to work. Let us identify a very subtle threshold right now, which is the moment expectation silently rises and begins its work shift right inside your mind. Perhaps you are lying here and starting to think about tomorrow morning. You silently hope that you will wake up with a lighter body. Or you are impatiently waiting for some strange feeling of peace to appear to replace the current fatigue and anxiety. Those desires are actually a very natural instinct for goodness in humans, and there is nothing wrong with them, but dear friend, please look closely again when you bring those expectations to bed. You are unintentionally bringing an unfinished task into a space that is meant only for the most empty rest. Expectation is a form of silent effort of consciousness. It forces your nervous system to continue standing guard to meet a certain goal, and makes true relaxation be pushed further away with each impatient breath. The night is inherently a sacred space for all effort to be allowed to stop completely, for the burden of the ego to be put down, and for life to operate by itself without needing any direction from the mind. The darkness is absolutely not a construction site for you to continue building or repairing anything for the future. Let this reminder sink deep into your subconscious to release the soul from the burden of craving that the night is truly not a place for you to wait for or demand results. Identifying impetitions in the body. Now I invite you to turn your full awareness back to the body, lying here on the mattress, to identify where impatience has been residing all this time in every fiber of your flesh and blood vessels. Usually, impatience is not just an abstract thought in the head, but it truly manifests very clearly through very subtle physical reactions that sometimes you are too familiar with to notice anymore. Slowly notice if your breath right now is slightly hurried or shallower than usual. Feel your chest area, whether it is in a state of waiting for something as if compressing to prepare for action. And especially listen to your jaw area, whether the two rows of teeth are unintentionally clenching together because of silent efforts, wanting everything to happen very fast, according to your will. In this sacred moment, I absolutely do not ask you to fix anything. You also completely do not need to try to breathe in a perfect rhythm or force yourself to relax those tensions immediately. This is absolutely not a tiring skill training exercise, but merely a compassionate acknowledgement of your own body. Just gently recognize and tell the consciousness a most honest confirmation that, it turns out my body at this time is truly still being asked to rush. This very gentle and non-judgmental seeing will automatically begin to loosen the knots of impatience without you needing to use any more bit of will or strength. Tonight, nothing needs to change. When the identifying look at impatience in the body has become clear, I invite you to step with me into the heart of tonight's journey with an extremely quiet internal gesture that carries infinite liberating power for your entire nervous system. Silently tell each cell and each tired fold of thought, a most tolerant confirmation, that tonight there is truly nothing that needs to be repaired. This affirmation is absolutely not a rejection of wounds or a denial of the pains you have been carrying all this time. But in fact, this is the most courageous act for you to completely remove the deadlines and strict time frames that you have unintentionally imposed on your own tired body for so long. We often have the habit of forcing ourselves to be stable immediately or to find solutions for every problem before sinking into the darkness. That very pressure to change and to become better has unintentionally closed the door of the inherent natural recovery inside you. When you courageously declare that tonight, I do not need to be different, and I allow everything to be unfinished as it is, then that is also the moment you are giving your body a true vacation from the strict supervision of the will. Your body will no longer feel urged or judged because of its malfunctions or because of the slowness in its recovery process. You are opening a space of absolute freedom where all efforts are allowed to rest and all expectations are placed down outside the threshold of deep sleep. Let this sacred whisper permeate deep into every blood vessel and every thought fold to bring the most complete peace to your soul. That true healing only begins at the exact moment when all pressure completely ends, leaving the space for the long-term process. Now, when all deadlines of the day have been removed, I invite you to step into a more silent space where you are completely allowed to let everything flow according to its own rhythm in the next few minutes. I will stop giving all instructions, and you also please allow yourself to stop observing or monitoring any process taking place inside your body and mind. This is the sacred moment when you no longer need to be a sentry for yourself, and you also completely do not need to stalk to see whether sleep has come yet, or whether the body has truly become a bit lighter yet. Try to imagine you are sitting quietly next to a soulmate, and you are simply present there without any need to want that friend to change or to become better according to your will. Your tired body right now is the same. It needs your quiet presence and compassion more than it needs the tired direction of the rational head always full of calculations. True healing can only silently germinate in the darkness of silence, and in the vast space of non-interference. Just let the breath freely find its way back to its original rhythm, and let every sensation on the flesh naturally come and go, like ripples on a lake with no passers-by. Let this state guidance permeate to the end of consciousness, for you to realize your inherent completeness right now, that there is nothing lacking at this moment. Everything is truly sufficient and complete, right in the vast silence of this night. Evaluating sleep. Every morning, in this silence that is becoming vast, I want to point out to you an unconscious habit that most of us often fall into every morning upon waking up, which is immediately performing a new work shift by grading the quality of the sleep that just passed, when the first sunlight just touches the window frame instead of allowing yourself to enjoy the freshness of a new day. Beginning, your mind often rushes to turn on the analysis and judgment mode. You ask yourself how many hours you slept last night, whether that sleep was truly as deep as desired, and whether your body has truly become less tired compared to yesterday. Those questions seem very normal. But do you realize that when you label a night as good or not good, or a recovery process as success or failure, you are unintentionally bringing the burden of current anxiety to place into your very next night? That evaluation creates a silent fear of not reaching the recovery standards you always dream of. This very loop of strict comparison and measurement is the thing that prevents life from freely operating and regenerating inside you in the most natural way. True healing is an extremely humble and quiet process. It operates most effectively in the layers of space that consciousness cannot touch, and it absolutely does not need the recognition or praise of the rational head to continue. Understand a profound truth to protect your own internal peace, that healing will automatically slow down at the exact moment it starts being brought out for grading. Tonight and tomorrow morning as well, please courageously give up the role of a strict judge to truly allow everything to take place according to its own sacred rhythm. Sleep coming. As part of the process, let us together expand our view further than the narrow definitions of a common good sleep, to understand that each night passing is an important puzzle piece in a much larger recovery picture. Please understand that sleep is not inherently a uniform silent state, but it is actually a constantly changing flow, following the sacred laws of impermanence and the rhythmic cycles of life. There will be nights when you are immersed in a deep, dreamless sleep, where all consciousness completely vanishes into infinite stillness, and that is certainly a wonderful gift for your body. But there will also be nights when you find yourself just lying still in a drowsy resting state, where the mind still has a bit of awareness of the surrounding space, and the body seems not to completely fade away as you expected. I want you to understand a profound wisdom that even those nights are completely valid and carry a distinct healing value that sometimes our calculating rational head cannot fully identify. There are nights when your great body does not choose to prioritize deep sleep immediately, but it is concentrating all precious energy to silently repair and reestablish balance for the nervous system that has been damaged by prolonged stress for so long. That is the moment the body is performing a silent overhaul in the more subtle layers of space, and the fact that you simply lie still without resistance is already an extremely expensive support for that process. In the world of practice, every state is an expression of causes and conditions, and we absolutely cannot use will to force the river to flow faster or force winter to end right at this moment. Each night is a distinct cycle with different tasks of life, and each experience, whether sleeping soundly or just resting in silence, is an essential and indispensable part of the long-term healing journey. When you accept the truth that sleep actually lies outside the control of the ego, You will find yourself no longer bound by narrow expectations of a perfect night. Just let your body freely choose the work needed for each night, and absolutely trust in the intelligence of nature operating inside you. Because every moment you are present in complete letting go and non-judgment is a steady step on the most complete recovery path of your own soul. 6 of deep healing. After many nights. When you have patiently walked with me through many days and nights of completely letting go of all deadlines, a quiet miracle will begin to germinate inside your life that sometimes the initial rushed look will easily miss. You need to understand that the truest sign of a complete recovery process usually does not lie in the dry measurement numbers of a single night or in the immediate refreshing feeling right when you just open your eyes. Instead of being preoccupied with looking for evident proof inside sleep, I invite you to begin observing the silent transformation taking place throughout the 16 hours when you are awake and interacting with the world. You will suddenly find yourself facing fluctuations, or not so pleasant words, from people around you with an unusually calm and tolerant mindset. Your reaction before pressures suddenly slows down a beat, and instead is a pause of wisdom, helping you no longer be swept away into the swirls of anger or anxiety as before. That is the proof that your nervous system has begun to be nourished and reinforced with the material of true peace. Another miraculous sign that you can clearly feel is your daytime breath suddenly becoming much more vast and free. Your chest is no longer gripped by the invisible knots of anxiety, and each exhaling rhythm seems to carry the relief of a soul that has known how to let go. And perhaps the most wonderful thing is the state that I call tired, but not attached, meaning that even after a hard-working day, your body may feel tired, but that fatigue only stops at the flesh and no longer has the ability to invade and muddy the stillness inside your soul. These graceful and deep changes are the most solid bricks rebuilding the house of your body and mind from deep within the roots. They do not come noisily to demand attention, but they silently spread like the fragrance of a flower blooming late in the silent night. Always remember a deep truth to carry as a precious baggage, that deep healing truly always appears in the space between long nights and absolutely never lies only within any single night when you stop trying to measure or compare. Then that is also the moment you realize you have truly become complete in a way you never imagined before. Healing is a climate, not a miracle. My dear friend, we have walked together to the final steps of awareness, where all effort and impatience must yield to a deeper and more profound understanding of the true nature of life. I want you to engrave a sacred wisdom that in the journey of complete recovery of body and mind, there is absolutely never a single decisive night or a magical moment that can change the entire situation after only a single practice. True healing is not a brilliant miracle coming from the outside or a magical button that you can activate with the will, but it is actually the result of a persistent and silent construction process. Just like the way an old forest revives after a big storm, no one can use their hands to force each young sprout to reach high immediately or force the life sap to flow faster inside the tired tree trunk. But the wise forest keeper can only patiently clear obstacles, take care of the land, and protect the necessary silence so that life finds its own way to rise in its own way. What you have been doing throughout these past nights is that you are silently building a climate of safety and tolerance right inside your inner self. Each time you choose to let go of a deadline, each time you accept reality as it is without judgment, is a time you are sowing a bit more warmth and trust into the nervous system that has been too exhausted because of the strict pressures of making a living for so long. When your internal climate has become mild and is no longer disturbed by commands or the stalking of the rational head, then your great body will automatically know how to operate the most miraculous self-repair mechanisms without you needing to give any more direction or intervention effort. Please understand that complete rest is not inherently a distant destination that you must chase. It is a state of presence that you can find right in letting go. Let this sacred reminder permeate deep to the end of consciousness, so that you are truly free from all burdens of craving. Always understand that true healing is a climate that you return to, and not an action that you must try to perform to achieve, as long as you keep that climate always full of peace and absolute trust in the sacred survival instinct. Then all damage will be automatically soothed and healed according to the most perfect rhythm of this vast universe. Hello, friend of karmic affinity. We have arrived at the final moments of tonight's silent journey. The journey to find back the inherent balance is a vast path and needs a lot of tolerance toward yourself. Before you truly vanish into the gentle and tolerant darkness of the night, I only hope you carry a single reminder in your heart that the deepest healing absolutely never takes place in only a single night. This is a process of silent accumulation, of the moments you dare to let go of control and trust completely in the wisdom of life operating persistently inside each of your cells. If the shared words throughout this journey have brought you a bit of a soothed feeling and helped you reduce the tired rush toward your own recovery process, I invite you to perform a sacred confirmation gesture to anchor this belief for a long time in your consciousness. Please leave a sincere comment that I trust in the long-term process. This commitment will be the steady anchor helping your consciousness always be stable and steadfast before all changes of body and mind in the coming days. Your presence at Daily Dharma Light is a good karmic condition for us to together light up more lamps of wisdom and compassion. If this space truly brings you peace and helps you find back balance in life, I am very honored to welcome you to stay here so we can continue walking together on this miraculous healing path. Now you have nothing more to hear, and also no longer anything that needs effort to perform. Just let the silence cover your entire body and mind, and allow all fatigue to completely vanish into the void. Wishing you a very peaceful night in absolute trust, peace in body and mind. Hello, and see you again